Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the CODEX podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Cougar. I'm joined by my usual co-hosts, Tim Morse and Uncle Gary.
Hello, ladies and
Hello.
gentlemen. Welcome to another glorious episode of the Codex Podcast.
Yes, so I will let everyone know that, yes, I have COVID. I'm a bit sick, a bit stuffy. So if you see me doze off at times, feel free to wake me up, yell at Tim because he's supposed to take over if I fall asleep.
I'll just grab the
Um,
wheel.
I'm healing, but sometimes it feels like I'm fighting Omega Red and I'm losing because I lose all my energy. Like last week, I will say, last week we did miss an episode.
Mhm.
And Tim, it was almost like deja vu because I don't know if you know this. Last year, right after my birthday, I got a bit sick and I said, Jamie, Tim, I'm not feeling so well. Just so you guys know, I might miss Wednesday. And then Wednesday came and I was like, no, I got to make it. And then Tim, you messaged and you said, guys, I'm sick. I'm out. So I said, me too.
It's
And
the
then
year year I
one
guess.
year later, same thing happens and we're both out of it.
Sonny, you need the Marvin Gaye healing.
Oh, yes, I know what you mean.
Sonny, you got COVID. I got food poisoning, and I was down for 2 days.
As Dan said, our very own Dan Kelly said it in our group messages. He's like, Sonny and Tim, stop buying sushi from the gas station.
I can't help it. It's so good. It's warm.
But we are
Delicious.
But we are healing. Like I said, I may get a little tired at points. Scream at me to wake me up if I start to doze off. But we've got a lot going on today, so I'm pretty excited. So I'm going to use my energy for this. You know, for instance, today we will be reviewing the Punisher Warzone. We will be having a Chipmunk Hunk join the F list. Some people are getting naked in the random panel of the week. And to start us off, you know, we'll have quite a bit of comic book news, including a bit about Superman. And yeah, and we also had a fun pre-show today. We were talking about, like I said, a bit about being sick. I found out after all these years of knowing him, I found out that Tim actually has a tattoo.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen, there it is.
Tim, you're not showing the tramp stamp?
Oh, that's for special people.
That's for special. Okay.
That's for After Dark.
For After Dark.
I was young and wild back in the day.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said after I got it.
Young and wild.
And earlier we're talking about the fact that I had Hollywood royalty. I'm wearing my John Wayne shirt. I had John Wayne's grandson here at the Library of Comics last Friday night. Mr. Brandon Wayne was a true prince. I told him that his grandfather was the Duke, that he's a true prince. He was here, and he's the fellow that does the acting in The Mandalorian when the helmet is on. That's Mr. Brandon Wayne, and he was fantastic. He was great at Comic Logic at our signing. The way he would talk to the kids, you know, he'd bend down and talk to the kids, ask them how they were doing. And all he was fantastic. So it was just wonderful.
That 10-gallon hat he was wearing did not hold the amount of love and awesomeness he had to give.
So, and he was wearing that hat, buddy.
I bet
that hat wasn't wearing him. He was wearing that. He was great. And to talk John Wayne movies with him was great. And I told him the next, you know, and that evening was just so special to have him here and show him my John Wayne shrine. And I posted pictures online for those of you that online on Facebook. I'm Opie Taylor. You can see the pictures there. It was just great. And I saw him the next day. And Sonny, I told Tim this, that as he embraced me when I saw him at Free Comic Book Day. And I said, Brandon, I'm going to tell you something I ain't never told another man. And I said, I'll never forget last night. I said, I told that to a lot of gals, and sometimes I even meant it, but I ain't never said it to another man.
Oh, man.
So first time for everything, right?
First time for everything.
You'll always have the Library of Comics.
Yeah. And I gave him that line, too, which I'll give to you when you come, Tim, as I come here and visit. I said, now look, as we go downstairs and you see what's about to unfold before your eyes, you can only see it for the first time once.
I can't wait.
Good times ahead. But yeah, so that was, you got to see Comic Logic. So maybe now's a good time to tell everybody a little bit about Comic Logic and where they can go to find it.
Oh, well, we were Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. Please come and see us. There we go. Please come and see us. We're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. I'm one of the proud co-owners of Comic Logic. We just had a great event. We had 3 big events in a row. Anniversary party for Comic Book Day with Brandon Wayne. And we have one more left, one more opportunity for everybody to come see us. And that is our Spring Lot Con. That is on May 19th, Sunday, May 19th, where we have about 30 vendors lined up, and we turn our section of the parking lot into a mini Comic Con. There'll be comics, there'll be local artists, there'll be local authors, there'll be toys, there's usually jewelry there, all kinds of fun things. It's wonderful. It's family friendly. Dan and Sal and their families were at the Ball Lot Con. So please come by and see us. And you know what? You're going to see all the Comic Logic folks, and you might even see some other CODEX folks besides me, all intersecting in one place. So if you're in the Northern Virginia area, please come see us. We would love to see you and make your acquaintance.
There you go.
Yes, check it out every day, and especially May 19th. Coming up. All right, but we do have some other things coming up, and so that's why we have some comic book news, and I will start us off with the rundown.
Let's go.
Some big news that came out is the picture of Superman for the new Superman movie. We see David Cornsweet sitting down as Superman. We see something going on in the background. And a lot of things to say about it. We'll get into that in a little bit. But also, we heard some devastating news that I'm sure a lot of people are really upset about, and that is that the Kraven the Hunter movie was delayed again due to the Karate Kid coming out. It has been delayed from August 30th all the way to December 13th. So you're still going to have to wait a little while before you get to see Kraven the Hunter. Also, there was some casting news for the Fantastic Four. Cowser has been cast. They haven't said who he's playing, but Paul has been known. He's been in movies such as I, Tonya, Cruella, Black Klansman, and he's been in the show Cobra Kai, not a Cobra Kai show. And he is set to be in the Fantastic Four. Also, Frank Miller, who we know the legendary Frank Miller and some legendary runs on Daredevil and Batman.
I'm going to get this cover so we can show it to people.
But he's come out with a new cover, and it is with Uncle Scrooge, and some people are not so happy about it. They're not hating it as much as the Wolverine cover that we talked about last year.
Awful.
But now people aren't so happy about the Scrooge.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me get this picture.
Give me 2 seconds. Baby.
You guys are going to love this.
Tim finds it. Yes, some people were not so happy. They were joking. Someone said Frank Miller's Uncle Scrooge will haunt me in my dreams. Thanks, Marvel.
It is not that bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as the Wolverine, but
my God.
Someone mocked Marvel and they said, Disney editorial, what is this? Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Whatever. I'm busy. So,
well, here we're talking about it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
All right, we'll see this.
There it is.
You know what? That's okay. That's okay. I mean, that is nowhere near the atrocity that Wolverine cover was.
So the thing that I'm understanding is Frank Miller is in the twilight years of his artistic career, and he is doing a more simplistic style. This being one of the examples, and other covers that he has done most recently. The most abysmal is the Wolverine. And if you don't know, all you got to do is look up Frank Miller Wolverine on Google and you'll find it. This is the Scrooge cover. Gary, I don't think it's that bad.
No.
Yeah, like I said, more kind of simplistic, like you said. And I think
I don't know about all the feathers down below, though. It looks like he's wearing a diaper.
Oh, yeah. Well, now that you point that out.
He is of a certain age.
That is also true.
Yeah. He is of a certain age. They look like papers more than feathers,
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like bunches of paper. Now, I saw Frank Miller about a year and a half ago. The dude looks like death warmed over.
I'm sure he looks rough.
Oh, he's hunched. He just looks bad. He doesn't look a day over 150, but man.
But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, am I going to get it? No. Some people will, but I will not.
And like you said, I mean, he's like obviously older now, and he's still doing what he loves. It's hard to just stop what you love. And
Yeah.
one thing I do say is I think it feels like fans have really turned, like people love to like trash people now. Like we know it's not the
Yeah.
best, but people like say even somebody else was saying to you, yeah, I can never unsee this Frank Miller Uncle Scrooge. I give the guy a lot of leeway, but jumping Jesus on a pogo stick.
That is not
That's not
Gary,
okay. People
Sonny.
going a little.
Over the course of our collecting careers and doing Sonny, you and I doing the news and even talking about the Frank Miller Wolverine, this is better than some of the other things he's put out.
Yeah,
Oh,
so.
Tons better.
Yeah,
Wolverine, there was a Daredevil cover he did not long ago that was just god awful too.
The ones that I like that he's done are the Moon Knight cover, which I have, because that was good. I enjoyed his artwork for that. I thought it looked really good. And the Incredible Hulk variant cover he did for the current series. It wasn't the best, but it was better than other pieces. The Daredevil was terrible. The Wolverine is atrocious. Scrooge, I think, is the better of a lot of other things. So.
Yeah, so I said I think people getting a little bit overboard. I think people like to make fun now, but like you said, Uncle Gary, he's a bit up there in age now. So
well, Sonny, here's another thing that people have been making fun of, but I think they're wrong.
Ooh.
Superman.
And I gotta pass the message along that Dan said. Remember, Dan was saying in our message.
Oh yeah.
He's like, hey, somebody's got to say what I wanted to say.
Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
It's up to you. You can read it. Did you find it?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
So Dan says we're all in group chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know. And he says, when you guys talk about the reveal of the Superman suit, can someone please mention on my behalf? So Dan, this is on your behalf. How shitty it looks, though it is nice that he has trunks. That's Dan's opinion on the suit.
He's got trunks in his trunks.
He's got a belt too. My opinion, guys, I think this suit looks great. I think it looks amazing. It's got it's got a mixture of a ton of different stuff. It's got a mixture of New 52. It's got a mixture of Kingdom Come. It's got a mixture of the classics. All of that stuff mixed into one. And in the background, that's incredibly telling what we're going to be looking forward to with the movie that James Gunn and Peter Safran have been working on. The Zack Snyder dude bros are rolling in their proverbial graves right now and drinking their protein shakes and powders and drinking raw eggs in sadness and disgust. And I couldn't be happier because fuck those guys. Yeah, this looks great. I can't wait for the DCU to get started. It looks fantastic. This is a beautiful, awesome, wonderful, amazing, functional suit. And yeah, there you go.
I'm wondering why he's a little nonchalant with what's going on over his shoulder, though.
Well, if you look, Gary,
on the S, day on Earth,
he looks like he's been through whatever he's been through today, and he's got a little bit of blackness or whatever, dust on his face and on the shield and all that stuff. So he's like, damn it, gotta go back out again. Brainiac, I told you once already. I think it looks great.
Interstellar piece of trash. You have to deal
exactly.
With it. And the comments are getting pretty popular there.
Liz says Crocs for boots. Hey, you know what? Crocs work, I guess. If there's little holes in there, he just needs little speakers so he can play the Superman theme song every time he walks. Bougie says, testify, Tim. Hell yeah.
And Tim, right as you dropped that F-bomb, Jamie put those eyes. Right as you said it, he was like, I'm watching you.
Jamie's spidey sense went off. Yeah.
Oopsie doodles. Wait a minute. I think Dan said something too. Yeah, let me take a look there. Dan says that suit looks effing terrible.
Wow. Look at the F-bomb. He didn't censor that.
I love the suit. I'm a thirsty bitch when it comes to Zack Snyder dude bros pissing themselves because the DC extended universe ain't going nowhere no more, and they lost all their favorites. My Tim Tingle was tingling.
Jamie, they have medicine for that.
Let me take this off.
They have antibiotics for that, buddy.
That's exactly correct, right? The Zack Snyder dude bros who are like, only Zack Snyder can make the proper DCEU. Well, no, he can't, because what'd he do? He broke the cardinal rule of Batman killing people through the whole damn movie. Yeah, Batman don't do that, right? Modern day Batman, the Batman we all know, the Batman we grew up with and loved, he don't do that. He don't kill nobody, right? Michael Keaton Batman does, and now Ben Affleck Batman does. But in the comic books, negative. Sorry, that's a rule that he doesn't break.
I've got a copy of Batman 15 where he's shooting a 60 cal.
That's besides the point. That was selling war bonds.
That was selling war bonds.
But the thing is, right, is they were doing everything they could to sabotage and make sure that this didn't go through and all that stuff. And I love the fact that James Gunn, I hear my dogs banging around somewhere doing something. They're mad about it too, right? James Gunn, I love what he does when people throw out the rumors and all that. He's like, yeah, that's not true. What do you mean it's not true? Well, I just told you it's not true because it's not. And I love it. I love drinking Zack Snyder dude bro tears. Well, I am a thirsty bitch for that. Not ashamed.
For good movie. But I'm not ashamed that I really like the Snyder cut of the Justice League.
I did too. I love the Snyder movies. Yeah, all the Snyder movies I thought were great.
Yeah, so superior to the the theatrical cut that Whedon did. The Justice League long cut was just fantastic. And one of the things that I know people have bitched about or think is so stupid with the Superman versus Batman thing, the whole Martha thing, I thought it was great how Martha connected them. And all the years I've been collecting comics, I never thought that each one of them had a mother named Martha. It never crossed my mind once.
Why are you saying that name? Where did you get that name?
I gotta remember that if I'm getting beat up in a fight, like, wait, what's your mother's name?
It's my mom too, Bruce. It's my mom too.
Yeah, but they might get more mad if I'm getting beat up. I'm like, hey, wait, what's your mom's name? I think I know her.
Yeah, there you go.
But the outfit, I'm fine with the outfit, and I think a lot of it's more like a promotional picture. So I don't really know if this is actually from the movie. I saw some people saying like, "Oh, no, it's AI." I think like it's just kind of get it out there. So
that's a promo,
yeah, it's promo. So I'm not gonna get too upset about it.
But I mean, look at this. We not only do we get Superman, but we get Lois Lane, we get Lex Luthor, we get Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
We get Fillion, right?
Yeah, we get a bunch of characters that have never seen screen time before, and it is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait. Yeah,
it should be.
I look forward to
it. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be great. I'm excited for it.
I think so too.
And you just can't hide it. I know you want to.
Oh no.
Look at Sonny's rosy little cheeks. Look at those.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I'm getting so excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
What else we got on the docket for news? If there's anything, Kraven being delayed. Oopsie doodles. Yeah. Sorry, nobody cares.
Oh well.
We got a comment saying, Boosh said Gunn's gonna do it right.
I think so too. Right? I think Gunn is gonna do it just fine. And
Gunn made us care about Polka Dot Man. I've got a lot of faith in him.
Exactly. Yeah. Liz says she has to agree with me also. You don't have to, but you can. And I appreciate that you do. And I'm glad to have two people on my side in the chat so far. My army is building. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Liz, way to kiss up to Tim. Good job.
But no, I mean, he made us care about Polka Dot Man.
Yes, right? He did. And hate his mother. And hate Polka Dot Man's mother.
He gave us Starro on screen.
Starro. Absolutely. Yes.
Come on.
Yes. Absolutely. And you know what? And Weasel.
Right?
And you know who Weasel really, really reminds me of?
Who is that?
Are y'all familiar with Bloom County?
Yes. Oh, my God. Yes.
Weasel is Bill the Cat. Hacking stuff up. It's Bill the Cat.
Now, Dan here says, I say this as a James Gunn fan. I don't have a lot of faith in him making a good Superman movie. I disagree with that, Dan. If he can take a group like Guardians of the Galaxy and turn that franchise into one of the most beloved pieces of the MCU, I think he can do a very good job with Superman. And I think he even said specifically, he's like, it's the tone of it's not going to be like Guardians at all. It's not going to be a comedy action fest from start to finish. It's going to have a serious feel to it. I can't wait. Yeah.
And speaking of James Gunn, before we move on, I did see something online. He posted a picture that he was on the set of Peacemaker season 2.
That's right.
Filming has started, so that's some good news.
Good stuff.
I think also too, Peacemaker, another character. You know, a few years ago, how big was Peacemaker? Now
nobody cared about Peacemaker.
Yeah, he's a huge character.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So comic news. Let's put that behind us, unless there's anything else. Unless we want to talk about Kraven some more.
With Paul Walter cast in FF, I'm going to throw my theory in the hat right now. I think he's going to be Mole Man. I don't think they would cast somebody like him as the voice of Herbie.
I was just going to say maybe Herbie.
I don't think so.
No, we shall see.
Yeah.
Uncle Gary, any picks?
Willie Lumpkin.
Hey, that's
right, maybe you're right. You maybe.
You know what Willie's powers were?
Look
at his ears.
Yeah.
Willie Lumpkin with his ears.
And Dan in the comment agrees with you. Willie Lumpkin.
Willie Lumpkin. He's going to be Willie Lumpkin. There we go. Okay. All right. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Willie Lumpkin with a Mole Man as a distant second.
Yeah. That's his alter ego.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
He's delivering the mail. He's delivering the mail by day, tunneling under Manhattan by night.
That takes care of the news.
And now let's get on to some naked people.
Ooh.
All right.
So there you go. Random panel of the week.
Ready, ladies and gentlemen? Enjoy this.
Avert your eyes.
No, you don't know. There it is.
Yep. We're naked.
There's almost nudity there.
Oh yeah, everyone is covered. Everyone is hanging. They got some kind of, some halo thing over their genitals.
I'm gonna guess front
their lower.
What do we got? Steve Rogers front and center. To the left is Spider-Man. In front is Jessica Drew. On the other side is Luke Cage. On the side of Luke Cage is Logan. And I don't know who is in front of Luke Cage.
Yeah, and I believe that Spider-Man says, "Yep, we're naked."
This is new. This is New Avengers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. This is New Avengers. That's Finch art.
So good.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Do you know who was the one who had them all hanging naked?
No.
Was it Ultron? Who is that? There's somebody standing down there. And you're just watching them.
It's probably Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It almost looks like he's turning into the Hulk there, but yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you know in the chat what issue this panel came from, please let us know, because we are old and feeble, and some of us are sick and we can't remember.
It's in that first story arc.
Oh, when all the prisoners break out of Rikers?
I think so. I believe it's in that first arc, but I'm also old and feeble, so I may not remember correctly.
There you go. All right.
Yes, I'm just going to use COVID as my excuse. That's going to be my excuse for the whole episode. Anything I mess up on for the whole week or the whole month.
You can say COVID brain. Oh, I got COVID.
Yeah. Still got the fog, ladies and gentlemen. Still got
just send me gift baskets and things like that to help me get better.
Oh, look, there's a brand new action figure I didn't destroy. COVID brain.
And it's destroyed.
Oops. Sorry.
I swear I behave.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, go find the action figure episode in our Codex playlist. You'll love it.
Yes,
like they say on the network news, and these images may be disturbing.
Anybody with feeble hearts or young children, look away.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sometimes, I was like 4. And sometimes if a toy loses a finger or something.
And then you were 25 and they still broke.
Yep. See, he's still biting off fingers, leaving just the middle finger. You know,
Poor
what the hell is that
Comcast
about?
from Deadpool. What, he's missing a whole arm, isn't he?
Oh, Comcast.
Yeah.
He's missing
Yeah, half an arm. So there you go. Amputee love right there, ladies.
Amputee love, that's for sure. Full circle.
Hey, sometimes you're moving, and then things get broken as you're moving boxes.
That is true. That is true. Alrighty, yeah. So yeah, we're all naked, proverbially under our clothes. So there you go.
Yeah, so another fun random panel of the week. Like you said, yep, we're all naked. And now let's move on to a hunk. So that brings us to our F list.
There we go. Love the music.
I love it.
All right, guys. Mother's Day is coming up on the weekend, so we'll bring out a hunk for everybody. So joining the F list is Chipmunk Hunk, and there he is, and he literally says Chipmunk Hunk. He's looking like a regular guy with some like white little things covering his eyes. There he is. There's the hunk, dude. Does that look like a hunk to you? Looks like he's picking up his pants.
Oh my God!
It looks like a Brown Lantern costume.
Yeah.
Soup Thor salad. Wow, that's amazing. Here he is in his secret identity.
Yeah, it's just him being him walking down the street.
And then
There he is kicking the door open. Yeah. And there's, what was it? Koi Boy, who's like, ladies, gentlemen, you have rioted well, but your riot is nearly over. From this moment on, none of you are safe from rioting. And then Chipmunk Hunk says, yeah, stop rioting or we'll punch you, as he kicks the door open.
There's that. Koi Boy, is that his name?
That is his buddy's name. It's Koi Boy. He should be joining F soon.
Well, you know what?
Behind the Squirrel Girl.
Say he belonged with Squirrel Girl, and there they are together.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. Anybody want to take a stab at the Chipmunk Hunk?
Yeah.
Gary?
Yeah, I got this one.
Okay. All right, man. I'm at a loss for words here.
Okay. This guy, I was thinking about him today, and I realized, you know, who he was. His name was Monroe. His first name, his name was Monroe Dent. Okay, Monroe Dent. And when he was in middle school, that turned into a bad nickname, Rodent. He was called Rodent. And so he was picked on and he was abused and he was called Rodent. And the middle schoolers were really, really rough on him. So he grew up with an attitude that he was going to erase that image of everybody in their minds. And he was going to grow up and be something. So he turned Rodent into Chipmunk. And he was going to be Chipmunk Hunk, and he was going to reclaim his masculinity by taking on a savage nickname like Chipmunk Hunk. And so what he did is his vengeance was to go against middle school bullies. So he's a grown man beating up middle schoolers, kicking
like
the lunchroom doors in. Yeah, just like that. He's kicking in the door to the lunchroom and he's beating up all these middle school bullies. And this goes really well for a while. He's feeling like a big man because he's beating up these 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. But then what happens is a group of concerned mothers get together and they corner him, and the mothers of these middle schoolers beat his ass to a pulp. And it ends up as Chipmunk Pulp.
Oh my God. Monroe Dent, aka Chipmunk
Rodent.
I love it. That's great. So this is the best one ever.
I don't know how we didn't know this guy before. Like the Chipmunk Hunk, and there you go.
I'm gonna take
for you, ladies and gentlemen, Rodent.
I'm gonna take a guess and say he's part of the Great Lakes Avengers.
Not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. But Tomas Laura Perez, who is the Chipmunk Hunk, is actually a good guy. He's he fights alongside Squirrel Girl sometimes. But his current alias is Chipmunk Hunk. But he has some other aliases. Are you guys ready? He's also known as Handsome Puncture, Chipmunk, Chippy the Hunk, and Zorro 2 better than Zorro.
Wow, that's
What
one.
Marvel fandom says. All right.
Did you say handsome puncture?
Richard says must be X-Men once Beast left. That is exactly correct.
Absolutely. Somebody had to fill that void, when Hank went to with the X-Men, with the Avengers, Sal.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but one of the names was Handsome Puncture. Yeah.
Handsome Puncture. Wow.
But yeah, he's human. He's alive. He's from the 616.
Puncher, like throwing a punch, or puncture, like stabbing somebody.
Like fist. I'm guessing.
I'm
guessing fist.
So,
yeah.
So he's a handsome fister. Is that what he was?
Basically, yeah.
Funny. And hamsters are known for their fisting abilities, right?
Oh my Lord!
Hey, he should meet Fisto. There was more times with Fisto.
I'm all about fisting today, He-Man. Who needs fisted fist?
Times there are random panel of the week.
That's right. That's a callback. I remember that one.
So Handsome Hunk is a second-year computer science student. He's an adventurer, and he's a vigilante.
Ooh.
He was created by Ryan North and Erica Henderson, and his first appearance was Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, #1 in January 2015. He was known for once saying, "And I'm Chipmunk Hunk, defeater of punks and other junk."
Wow, he's a modern-day Etrigan.
That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. After he discovered his powers, he felt kind of nervous. He was embarrassed to use them because, he was like an animal, like a chipmunk.
What were his powers?
I'm curious.
His powers are, his chipmunk powers. Because
a lot of stuff in his face.
That is one of the powers. Yes, he can do that. He can stuff a whole lot of things in his face, like a chipmunk.
Well, he'll be really popular at the male bathhouse.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. And he possesses superhuman strength, ability, speed, agility, reflexes. But yeah, so he's also like cheek storage is one of them. Yep, cheek storage. Similarly to chipmunks.
Which cheeks?
Both.
Trust me, Spider-Man. Give me the Incredible Hulk. I will take him to safety. How the hell?
I will take him in my mouth. It's good.
I
will take him in my mouth. It's good.
Turn around and just know that he will be fine.
Yeah,
I will take him in my mouth does not sound good.
Similar to chipmunks, Tomas possessed the ability to expand his cheeks to store objects of considerable size. Wait, he has a sonic chirp too. He could also chirp really loud, like a chipmunk. Like I said, one of those things.
Really well.
Yeah. So he was nervous about that until he met, Squirrel Girl, and she kind of inspired him to be himself, to be the superhero of the Chipmunk Hunk, and his buddy is Koi Boy.
Koi Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, while fighting the hippo at Campus Bank, Chipmunk Hunk and Koi Boy intervened.
Don't be coy. What's your name?
Is it COY Koi or KOI like the fish?
KOI. KOI and then BOI. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But after Doreen's roommate Nancy recognized Chipmunk Hunk, he revealed that he actually was Tomas. So, yeah, so his outfit wasn't too good at disguising of who he was, because it was, clearly discovered that, you're Tomas. We see
we know who you are.
But he also started dating. He is dating Mary Mahahan.
Maya.
Basically, yeah. But he's doing pretty good for being quite the cheesy character. He's still alive. Sometimes he fights alongside Squirrel Girl. He's not in that many issues. But there's the Chipmunk Hunk.
My lord.
Chip and Dale have a restraining order that he's ruining the chipmunk.
He's going there and he's putting too much in his mouth. He's carrying too much and he's chirping too loud.
Slow down. Take your time.
You don't have to eat all the nuts at once.
And
There's
can eat
plenty to go around. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many nuts can the Chipmunk Hunk fit in his mouth at the same time?
Put it in this next week's issue of Blood Hunt. We'll find out there.
Perfect. I hope he is in there.
Oh my god. As a villain, as a hero turned vampire.
chirping
Wow.
really loud as a chipmunk. What is that
That'd be
loud
amazing.
chipmunk
Down
noise?
goes Wolverine.
Yeah. After Wolverine cuts off his tail, yeah, because Chipmunk Hunk does have a tail.
Oh wow.
I'm more partial to the Monroe Dent origin.
That's canon as far as I'm concerned.
I love the angry mothers beating him up too. It's much more exciting.
Teach them 6th, 7th, and 8th graders not to mess with the punk.
Yep.
I think it is actually a way better story than just he
God.
discovered it. Yeah.
And that was without you knowing his powers, Gary. That's great.
Yeah, I had no idea. You're still a loser.
So do you think this loser who can fit a whole lot in his mouth leaves the F list? Can he, or is he doomed to stay there forever with a mouthful?
You know, I think he's gonna stay in the F list, but I think personally Monroe Dent is okay with being on the F list. I don't know what his real name is. Monroe Dent is what I'm going with. So that's canon.
Gary?
You know, I think his only true calling is in the adult film industry, male porn industry. I think is his only true place for him to truly excel at what he does best.
Oh,
so he's definitely out in your opinion. Okay.
Yeah, he's out. He's out and about. So,
me, Tomas, Laura Perez. I think there's still a lot to be discovered about this character. I mean, they could just let him be. I personally do like your story, Uncle Gary. I would like it if that became the true origin for him. But I do think eventually, I think right now he technically could get out. I mean, his powers are kind of cheesy, but he's part of Squirrel Girl. So I think there's still a little bit of, for me, I think
they're not
hope.
cheesy, they're nutty. The powers are nutty.
Perfect. I think nutty Chipmunk Hunk. I definitely think he should change that nickname because it's kind of hard not to laugh at.
I don't even have
my name is the Chipmunk
Gary.
Hunk.
I'm tapped out.
Chipmunk Hunk, I think could make it out, but he's got a lot. He's got a mouthful, and then he can let it out, be himself, change things up a little bit. And not do that squirrel chirp. Yeah, that's not really gonna do much good for him.
He just does that when he's excited.
He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, well,
oh my
you
God.
think much more of him than I do.
Oh my Lord!
I think he can. I think with a lot of work he can. And my co-hosts say that there's no hope for the Chipmunk Hunk.
No hope.
No, he's done. Down and out. Beverly Hills.
There we go.
All right, that's the last one I got.
Evidently, he's not a vegetable lover. He's more of a meat eater.
Hey, the guy just loves nuts. All right.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
No more. Can't take it anymore.
The jokes though, but unless
we could just sit here giggling like a bunch of 5th graders telling dirty jokes about this guy for the rest of the hour.
And that's what set him off in the first place was all that giggling about 5th graders. We're back to full circle.
Just so happened to be these 3 rotten kids, Gary, Tim, and Sonny. They are sitting by the slide making fun of me.
Yeah.
And that day, I decided.
And then going back to middle school, making middle schoolers would say if they saw him.
Yeah.
His mouth.
From that day forward, I knew I would put as many nuts in my mouth as I could at a single time to intimidate evildoers everywhere.
Whatever.
Everyone's doing
Make
their nuts.
sure you're wearing clean underwear in case you get in a car accident.
Everyone's eating nuts. He's like, you know what? I'll go there. I'll eat your nuts. I'll eat your nuts. I'll eat everybody's nuts.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. We shall move on. One day we may have to revisit him. Yeah, there are too many good jokes with Chipmunk Hunk. I take it back. You know what? He can stay in the F list.
There you go.
Yeah,
he is
too much now.
Definitely.
God almighty.
I was trying to believe in. I was trying to be optimistic, but yeah. Those
We do
powers.
You see where that gets you, right?
We do have a sponsor to talk about tonight, Sonny. if you
Yes, we
want to do
do.
that.
I will let you take it away. 1 second. I need to cough.
Or you're holding your chipmunk hunk for it.
He got too many chipmunk hunks nuts in his mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's sponsor for the Codex podcast, episode 109, The Man Flu, is none other than my local comic shop, Nirvana Comics. They've got a comic for everybody, and Jasmine, Grant, McKay, the entire Nirvana Comics team wants you to come in there so you can have an experience like no other. Right there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Head on down. Their free comic book day event, that's exactly what it is, was spectacular. They had cosplayers, they had food, they had door prizes, tons of deals and stuff like that. And that's not just something that they do every now and then. They are always doing something. Like right now, if you're in the Knoxville area, FrankenCon is a convention that's coming, I believe, next weekend or this coming weekend. They had 5 tickets in their store, throughout the store, so you can go down there and find one and get into the convention for free. That's the kind of things they do. And they won the inaugural Image Comics Local Comic Shop Award also.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. These guys mean business, and in a good way. Nirvana Comics, Knoxville, Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, they have a comic for everybody, and they want you to come down and see them.
Check it
Go
out.
see him. Yeah, absolutely.
Get yourself some good comic books.
Yes.
And now I say it is time we get to our review. So today we are reviewing Uncle Gary's pick, and that is the Punisher Warzone. And as usual, Tim will start us off with the credits.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Punisher Warzone, as Sonny showed you right there, is issue number 1 of the 5-issue limited series. This is volume 3 for those of you that are completionists. And it was written by Greg Rucka with artwork by Carmine Di Giandemencio, colors by Matt Hollingsworth, and letters by Joe Caramagna.
Good job on those Italian names there, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, good job. When I was looking at him, like, oh, he's got his work cut out for him today.
I've been drinking my water, so my brain's doing pretty good.
You know, Sal was watching, going, "Let's see if he gets that Italian right."
I got you, Sal. I got you.
Yeah, Paisano.
You nailed it, Tim. All right, guys, I'll give us a little bit of a run through. So, in the beginning, we start off. We see that Rachel Cole Alves, she is a partner of the Punisher. She has already been arrested, and she is going to trial. And then eventually we find out that there was an incident happened, and multiple people were killed, including multiple officers of the NYPD. And then they mentioned that, web shooters were used. So Spider-Man's like, wait a minute, I know I didn't do that. So he goes after the Punisher, and, the two, they battle, and the Punisher gets away. And Spider-Man eventually goes to the Avengers, and he is saying, you know what, we need to go after the Punisher. Why does everybody always let him get away with murder? And eventually it is Captain America who convinces the team, yes, he agrees, and that they need to go after the Punisher. But in this series, Wolverine is also part of the Avengers. And Wolverine actually warns the Punisher, like, they're coming after you. And then, who was one of the first ones who goes after the Punisher? It is Black Widow. And Black Widow, she is chasing him all over the world. I'm talking Italy, France. She takes him to the Republic of the Congo. And the two battle, and even Black Widow says this is going to end in blood. And Punisher says, choose your battles. And as he runs away, he leads her to find children that are being used for war. And Black Widow, she's not just going to let that go. She has to help out. So later she does mention to Spider-Man's like, how did you let him go? She's like, well, I helped over 100 kids get out of, war and starvation. So I'd say I did pretty good. And Captain America says, okay, the next one to go after is Thor. And I think Thor was maybe issue 3 was possibly my favorite issue of this series.
Thor goes with me.
He goes to Indonesia, and he just going through everybody, and nobody's even giving Thor a matchup, including the Punisher, who tries to escape, but he's no match for the He's no match for the Punisher. Yeah. Boom, punch, and Thor throws him some drinks. Let's talk. And I thought the talk was actually one of my favorite parts of this action-packed story. When Thor was telling the Punisher, like he said, "I get you. Like, I get what it's like to be a warrior, and you've created this war." And he's telling him like, okay, so now you used to like the war, but now it's like you need it. It's just what you have to do in your life. So doesn't that kind of make you the enemy? And he's like, are you going to let because Rachel Cole Alves, she's not going to talk. She's before Black Widow had tried to get her to talk, and Rachel Cole Alves, she will not give up the Punisher. She's not talking. And Thor says to the Punisher, you're going to let someone who is loyal to you, you're going to let her sacrifice herself for you. What kind of, what is that with you? What have you become? And he tells me, it's time to lay down your weapons. It's time. The war is over. And then it's time. The Punisher must choose. Will he let his partner, Rachel Cole Alves, take the fall for him? Will he go to make a rescue? And the Avengers are ready to take on the Punisher, or are they? So I'll stop my run through right there. If you want to know more, feel free to check out the story, Punisher Warzone. Good, quick story, action-packed. Like I said, some parts with some heart. For me, I really enjoyed the story. I felt like I said that the action, it moved really fast. It wasn't really dialogue heavy, but when they did get to talking, like I said, with the Thor part especially, there was moments where it touches the heart, and it makes you think about the characters. It makes you think, it's been like out of all these years, it's taken so long for the Avengers to finally go after the Punisher. But then, when you read it, like, yeah, of course, I could see some of the characters like Wolverine and Thor, who these characters have been in wars. I could see them understanding the Punisher and being on a side. I really liked, obviously, I love the Punisher. It was one of my favorite characters. Wolverine was cool. I kind of understood. I liked Wolverine's loyalty to the Punisher. He didn't want to attack him, but he didn't want to turn his back on the Avengers. Yeah. Also, I thought Black Widow really stood out in stories like this. Sometimes when you have an all-star cast, it's hard to stand out. And I thought Black Widow did stand out as someone who, she really showed how she's able to, how intelligent she is. Now she was able to track the Punisher from here and there. And she was, okay, if he was to come back, I would do this and I would change this and that. So Black Widow stood out to me a lot. And Rachel Cole Alves, this story introduced me to her, and it got me to look into more about her in her past. And then later on, not from this story, but other stories, I realized like how she and the Punisher have similar histories. And like I said, I really liked her character. I like how she was loyal. She's a tough, strong woman. And of course,
also Marine like Frank was.
Yep. Yeah. Both Marines. Yep. And Thor, like I said, just, I thought the writers, they did a good job of making like, yes, because this is a Punisher story, but he's not wiping out the Avengers. He's doing a good job, and he's using his brains. He's using his intelligence, especially to mess with Iron Man. Iron Man is like, I hate this guy now. But Thor was like, okay, there's really Punisher's not really much of a matchup for Thor, but Thor, really stood out. Like I said, obviously super tough, but also he was able to talk and have a heart-to-heart with the Punisher. I think this is a great story. I think everyone should check it out. It's a fun story. I don't think it's the most need-to-read story, but I really suggest you do. Uncle Gary, a while ago when you talked about it, I was like, oh, this story needs to jump on my list of to-read stories. So I was very happy when you picked it out. And then we got to read it. And like I said, it's a really fast story. Even it's 5 issues, but it goes by really fast. And my one little critique is sometimes with the art, I get going for different looks for the characters. The Punisher really reminded me of Snake from the Metal Gear Solid games, and which is one of my favorite games. So I get some nice certain changes, but sometimes I would notice that when they show characters from afar, it would look like they had no face at all. And I didn't really care for that. Like I was like, they could do a little bit of a face. So artwork wasn't my favorite, but still good. Still the action-packed story. Really fun. I highly recommend it. And I give the Punisher Warzone a 9.2 out of 10. Terrific story. Do yourself a favor and check it out.
Okay.
And what do you guys think of it? Tim, I'll go to you first.
Okay. So, Gary, you recommended this story to me a while ago. It was on an episode of After Dark, Comics Unleashed, and we were talking about Punisher stories. I think it was like when we were all done, we were just sitting there doing cool down and stuff like that. Ladies and gentlemen, after the shows are over, we usually sit there when Restream is off air for a good half hour sometimes, just shooting the shit and just kind of patting each other on the back, saying good job, and talking about other things, being friends, what we do. And you mentioned that this Punisher story was something that I should read. It was the Punisher story and something else. I can't remember what it was. It might have been Enemy Ace.
If y'all get a hold of that book, I can't wait.
Yeah,
that book is art, is what that book is.
But I went and got it and read it the next day, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was great, and I messaged you right after I read it. I said, Gary, holy crap, this story is amazing. And it is. The writing, Greg Rucka, the writing for this is fantastic. It is a wonderful story. And me as a Spider-Man fan, I kind of hated Spider-Man in the beginning of this story because he was being really hardcore about, we've got to take Frank down. This has gone far and beyond anything we should have allowed in the first
He just
place.
had enough. He'd had enough.
Exactly. And when he's standing there, when Spider-Man is standing there with the rest of the Avengers at the time, Black Widow, Captain America, Iron Man, Wolverine, and Thor, right? I think it was Black Widow that was like Spider-Man was like, he killed cops, and Black Widow was like, isn't that what he does? Doesn't he kill cops? And Spider-Man's like, no, this is out of character for him and stuff like that. And like, she didn't care at first. She didn't want nothing to do with it. And Tony Stark is being Tony Stark, right? He's kind of doing his own thing and kind of making fun of the whole situation. But Steve, Captain America, finally is like, yep, okay, all right, we need to take care of this. We need to take care of business. And Wolverine goes first and does what he does. And like he said, Sonny, he's like, they're coming to get you. That they're coming to get you, Frank. And, I'm not going to stop them, but I'm not going to let, you be taken advantage by all of this. And I think he did it twice, once in the beginning and then once towards the end too. And he stayed out of the fight at the end. And I love that because Tony goes in there, Iron Man, he's like, don't worry guys, I got this, I'll take him out real quick. And the Punisher's like, yeah, no you won't. Bloop. And that's when Tony's like, I really hate this guy. But it was great, the chase with Black Widow across continents, the one-sided fight with Thor, and then Thor treating him with the respect that Frank has earned, and having beers with him and talking about what the hell's going on. The fight with Spider-Man and all of that stuff. The writing is fantastic. 10 out of 10 for the writing. The artwork, Sonny, I agree with you. If there were, now, don't get me wrong, Carmine Di Giandomencio did a wonderful job with the work, but I have a harder time getting as involved with the quick sketch artwork as other people do. I think if somebody like Finch or Aparo, if you go back that far, or another modern day artist that's not too cartoony, but has more of a serious tone, had taken on the artistic bit of this. Visually, I think it would have been a little bit better. But after reading for a little while, Carmine's work kind of grows on you and all that stuff. So artwork gets a 7 out of 10 for an overall score of an 8 out of 10 from me. I highly recommend it. I think everybody should read this. Like Sonny said, it is an absolutely entertaining read. It's a lot of fun. There's some serious moments in there, and I think each character that is in the story is written really well and true to form. So I think it's a must read at least once. Can't miss it.
Uncle Gary,
how about
you?
So I recommended this. Now, first let me talk with, I guess what is the weakness is the art a little bit. I do think the art has some grit to it. It's less cartoony and a little more gritty, kind of scratchy. I would say the art, for me, I got to where I enjoyed it. I would give the art I'm like Tim, like an 8.5 out of 10, I think, or
Yeah.
a little higher than 10. But for me, the story slam dunk is a 10 out of 10. For what I found fascinating in this, yes, it's a Punisher story, but it's really about the reactions of the other characters to the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I found very fascinating. And Rucka usually writes crime stuff. He wrote Gotham Central. He writes street level heroes. So he writes these things. He took on a big Avengers story. And Spider-Man getting pissed. Okay, so this thing happened, and one of his web shooters was used. There's a beginning scene with Spider-Man, and he's telling him, and when we lock you up and send you to Rikers, that's just like sending you to Club Med, right?
Yeah.
Where he's put in the other Punisher. So the Punisher gets the best of Spider-Man, and what does he wake up without?
The web shooter?
Another web shooter. He stole another
Again?
web shooter. So when Spider-Man calls this emergency meeting of the Avengers, he's got a bare arm. They're like, "What's up with your arm?" He goes, "I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it." He goes, "We've got," and that's what I found fascinating was the reactions to the other Avengers. So when he tells them, Iron Man came in from a concert in Moscow.
Yeah.
Thor had better things to do. The Widow is there. Wolvie's there. Cap is there. And he says he is a mass murderer, and we're letting him get away. And a small difference on the Black Widow thing.
I think the only two that were listening to Peter like more than the others was Logan and Natasha. Those were the only two. No, Logan and Steve. Those were the only two kind of paying attention to what he had to say.
Well, what Natasha said was there were the cops killed. She goes, "Well, I didn't think he killed cops."
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that was a surprise. I didn't think he killed cops. And Spidey says, "Does that matter? Does that matter that he doesn't kill cops?" And so Iron Man's walking out. I can get back for the next encore, where I have other things to do. And Cap stops everybody. Says, "No, he's right. By us letting him go on, we're showing that we're only protecting those who deserve protecting.
Mm-hmm.
That we're not protecting anybody." And that's so Cap, right? And Cap, and then the others say, "Well, us going in mass on Frank, on the Punisher, isn't a good look." And that's when they decide to break it down individually. And he asks Natasha to go after him first, and she doesn't. But Wolverine warns him, and he says, "Frank, they're coming for you." And he goes, "What they're going to do to you? They're not going to put you in jail. They're going to put you in a hole. They're going to put you in a hole, and that'll kill you." And so Wolverine warns him, and then as it comes to pass, the widow. So showing how good the widow is.
Didn't Frank Castle blow up the building Wolverine was into to kind of make it look like
no traces?
Wolverine blew up the building.
That's right.
Wolverine Castle had it rigged to blow, but and Castle's like, "Well, they're going to know you warned him." He goes, "No, you got it rigged to blow. Phosphorus, remember, burns away everything." So Wolverine tripped it on purpose to make it look like he was going to get him, and Natasha saw through him. And so I know what you did, and Cap does too, because there's a point where when they're going, he tells Wolverine, "You're not in this fight. You're sitting out this one." He goes, "Because I don't know whose side you're on, and if I see you there, I'm going to assume you're on his side." So Cap benches
your funeral.
Cap bench. Yeah, and Wolverine says, "It's your funeral. Y'all think you've got Castle figured out?" Because
good luck.
They figured that they're going to trap Castle, and the disregard Natasha. Well, he just kills bad guys, right? And that's the attitude why they haven't gone after him. And,
real quick, guys, Mitcha Wild, that is my brother Matthew. Matt, good to see you, man.
Hey,
nice. Thanks for joining us. So I just love the other Avengers reactions, and then the one with Thor, where Thor, and Castle leads him to a whole military outpost that he knows Thor will destroy. He knows he has no chance against Thor. He even pulls a gun on Thor. Thor's a bam, and then Castle goes to black.
The fight's over.
Yeah, boom, and they drink, and he tells him some really hard truths that are true, and Thor recognizes that this is a war of his own making, and he has fought it too long, and now it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that the war will keep going on because Castle keeps perpetuating it, and he's not really fighting for a cause. He's just fighting to fight at this point. And so, I think that was great, right? And then he just left him, and he goes back to Cap, and he tells Cap, "Yeah, I had him, but we drank." And Cap's like, "Well, there's that." He'll turn it. And Thor just knew he would turn himself in. But what Thor did do was motivate him to maybe make an attempt to save his
Rachel.
Not she wasn't a willing partner that he took on. She kind of glommed onto him.
Yeah.
But it was another Marine, and she was going to go, and and Frank did not kill those cops.
Nope.
Frank did not kill those cops. So but I loved how Iron Man the whole time disregarded Castle. He was not a he has so beneath him, and Iron Man got punked 3 times by Castle?
Yeah.
Just totally punked. And the last time he got punked because I don't want to hear what Spider-Man has to say.
I'll never hear the end of it.
I'm never going to hear the end of it.
No, I really hate that guy.
I hate that guy, right? And it just goes to show you how and Wolverine and Natasha knew that this wasn't a man to underestimate.
Yeah.
Wasn't a man to underestimate.
They know soldiers.
Yes.
And Cap should have known that too. Yeah.
Well, Cap kind of hung back too until the very end. Cap hung back, and then Cap finally got him to stand down. And then we don't want to reveal what happens in the end, but a punishment that Frank wouldn't have wanted, And I thought that was really poignant and tough, and the last thing in the world that Castle would have wanted. And I just loved what Rucka did in that story. I think it is a brilliant standalone story. And I agree, the art isn't up to the standard of the story, but the story is so magnificent. I still give it a 9.5 with taking both things in, just because that story in just a 10, it's a 10 plus for me, because it is a character study, not just of Castle, but of the entire Avengers cast. And there's one point where Natasha is talking to a old Russian police officer, comrade of hers, and he's kind of grudgingly getting him information on Castle, and she says to him, "I can't believe you, the most honest cop I know, can condone this." And he says, "Well, maybe it's the alcohol talking right now, but I think they should give him a medal." And what he's doing, he was freeing enslavers, he was, that were running young girls for human
trafficking and
all that. He says, "I think they should give him a medal." So there's a lot of heavy themes in there that, is Castle, is what Castle doing beneficial? Is it worth it?
Sonny, would you hold up the trades so that way Richard can see?
Yes, Richard, we are going over Punisher Warzone.
It's volume 3. It's only 5 issues, came out in 2012. Highly recommend, buddy.
It's the Greg Rucka one. There's a lot of confusion because there's War Zones, which is written by Ennis, but it's Punisher Warzone, and it's by Rucka. Greg Rucka wrote it. So
I'll put it in the chat for you too.
It's a quick read, but I just, for me, it's the character study of Castle and how the Avengers view him in their universe. And like you said, Spidey was a bit of a dick about it, but he'd had enough. Tim, he had just had enough dealing with this guy. And the fact that he's just killing people left and right, and he had it. And, it did get personal when he took his whip shooters.
I think it's me as an observer yelling at the screen like, "Spidey, what the hell are you doing, man? I know Frank. I've read all his stories. He's not like that. You're being a moron right now. You're not paying attention."
But even killing the bad guys was too much for Spidey, though. Even killing the bad guys.
Spidey sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, for me, it's a 9.5, even with the art not being, not matching anywhere near matching the great writing. I just thought that is one of my favorite, Punisher stories. And it's an Avengers story too at the same time.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so we highly recommend everyone checks out. Yes, Uncle Gary gave Punisher Warzone 9.5. I give it 9.2. Tim, you give it 8 or was it 8 or
It was
8.5?
an 8.
And 8. So we do
Yeah.
recommend everyone checks out the Punisher Warzone. It's a fun story. We all love the story. We said the artwork wasn't the best. We were all pretty much in agreement on that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Punisher's bad guys are completely different than Spidey's,
That's
especially when they're the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And we said we did have another comment. I believe it was from your brother, Tim.
Oh yeah, my favorite Punisher story. Matt, if you've read that,
Well,
I'm going to be giving you a call tomorrow and we're going to talk about it.
Nice.
good
So
choice
awesome
there.
story. Yeah. Awesome story. So everyone here at the Codex Podcast recommends that everyone checks out the Punisher
Oh yeah.
Warzone. And now, Tim, it's time for you to pick out what is the next story arc for us to review a few weeks from now on the Codex Podcast.
So I know we've never read it before. And I know it's never been on the podcast, but I'd really like to do Alex Ross's Kingdom Come. I think that would be I think that would be fantastic.
Tone just loses mind.
Liz says, "There you go, spending my money again. I need to read this." Liz, 100%, man.
Well worth it.
You will dig it. No, Sonny, I had to do that. What I am going to
The one time I didn't cut you off, that's why I have to jump a bit. Tim, not Kingdom Come, not Marvels.
It is a Marvel title though. Silver Surfer Requiem, that is on the list, Richard, but not for this one. Matt, I'll be waiting. 110%, buddy. I'm going to give you a call tomorrow. Don't worry about that. It's going to be Marvel 1985.
Nice. I know you really love that story. So.
Yes, very much so. Marvel 1985 by Mark Millar and Tommy Lee Edwards.
Okay, sounds good.
Remember,
we'll check that out a few weeks from now on the CODEX Podcast. Well, we've gotten through the episode. I managed to stay awake, but when we're talking about Chipmunk Hunk and Naked Avengers and Punisher taking on the Avengers and that Superman outfit that gets everybody talking,
right?
It gives you a bit of energy. But now it is time for me to say goodbye, to go to sleep. For the record, last week I didn't even get to watch X-Men 97 when it first aired, so that's how you tell I was really sick. I had to wait, but now I'm healing, so I was able to watch it at 3 a.m. And now we've gotten through the episode. Now I can relax, I can go to sleep, and let you guys take care and say goodnight to us all.
All right. Gary, do you have any parting words before I give all the business to everybody here?
I'm looking at Marvel 85, and I don't even own these. So these will be an interesting read. It looks like a 6-issue mini.
Yeah, 6 issues. I've got the single issues, I've got the trades, and I've got the Marvel must-have that has the first 3 issues too. I love this story.
Well, there we go. I'll look forward to...
Who's got the man flu eternal? That would be Sonny right there. Yeah, Gary, any parting words of wisdom before we get out of here today?
Yeah, never start a land war in Asia.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
All
right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Inconceivable, I know.
Yeah, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we've got something we want to give it to you. Gary, what would that be?
Oh, here we go. All the hosts that you see on the Codex station, we have all the socials, and we want to give them to you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Look how Sonny is all rosy cheeks and sunshine.
He's dripping with them.
That's right. At the Codex Station, your favorite social media platform where we're live streaming right now. Make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, or follow wherever you're watching us. It definitely does help with the algorithm once it sees that more people just like you are interacting with the Codex Station on YouTube. Even more people get to see it. And that's our ultimate goal. We want people to come and enjoy this type of content that you guys are enjoying right now. So once again, at the Codex Station, your favorite social media platform, and where we're live streaming right now. And also, ladies and gentlemen, following tomorrow morning when Sonny is wiping his nose with your favorite handkerchief, Uncle Gary is reading the morning paper, and I am making a cup of coffee in nothing but my socks. Head over to thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more.
What are you using for creamer?
Ladies and gentlemen, I drink my coffee black. Thecodexstation.com, ladies and gentlemen. With creamer sometime. It all depends on how feisty I'm being in the morning.
Wow.
And don't forget our sponsor for tonight's episode, Nirvana Comics. Ladies and gentlemen, head over to nirvanacomicsknoxville.com to check out all the stuff that they have available for you. Grant, Jasmine, McKay, and the entire Nirvana Comics team are ready to assist you. They have a comic for everybody. Once again, that's right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim the Terrible. This beautiful man over here is Uncle Gary. And down below is the man with the plan, the red nose, and not from booze. It's from happiness and joy, Sonny Kruger. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Codex Station. We're here to fuck shit up, and we will see you next time. But I can't go until I hear those glorious words.
Gaping holes.
Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. One more time, please, for me.
Gaping holes.
Oh, bye.